Namo. Thank you for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This beautiful sound calls us back to our true home. The first mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I vow to cultivate compassion and learn ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I'm determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to condone any act of killing in the world, in my thinking, or in my way of life. For our Dharma lessons, we're reading Ajahn Munindo's book, Unexpected Freedom. Today we're continuing in a chapter on meeting our anger with a section, The Benefits of Consistent Effort. Another useful way of viewing anger is to see it simply as energy. This is energy that is to be purified and transformed. It's not something just to get rid of or vent. This is something to be understood. And in order to do this, our relationship with it also needs to be purified. The first level of purification is containment or restraint. We restrain ourselves from acting out the motive forces that are gaining momentum within us, no matter how uncomfortable that experience is for us. There's power in such mindful restraint, and this leads us to being able to engage the energy intelligently and creatively. A good friend once suggested to me that home visits were the best barometer for practice in this area. I think he was right. I know that whenever I used to go back to New Zealand to see my family there couldn't be a more fertile source of opportunity for restraining my emotional reactions. There were seemingly endless opportunities for becoming indignant, while other family members who were having more children or earning more money received praise and recognition. The fact that I had been enthusiastically and consistently committed to the life of a renunciate monk for 20-odd years received no appreciation. When I was younger, this stony indifference to my spiritual orientation was a cause of considerable upset and hot-temperedness on my part. Of course, my reason came up with rational explanations for my family's behavior, but inside, I could hear the voice of my indignation saying, "But what about me? Doesn't it count for something that I have been getting up every morning, rededicating my life to all sentient beings and working hard to help others? And I would regularly come down with a sore throat, an eye infection, or some disease that was symptomatic of the inner struggle I was having with my rage. As I grew older, both physically and in the training, those inner voices became much quieter. I have learned how good it feels to not have to react, so that I can go away with my dignity intact. I cannot say that the voices are never there, but the relationship I have with them is very different from what it was. I find I can respect them. At the very least, I can endure them. With this inner shift, home visits have become more harmonious. With this practice, I learned to see such thoughts as, "What about me?" as expressions of our heart's precious energy. We are free to allow that energy to be kidnapped by the diluted conditioning of our minds and be wasted on indignation and blame if we wish. But we are also free to engage that same energy in the cultivation of strength of heart. Patience is nourishing. Compassion is nourishing. And ill will, anger, and resentment are not the enemies of these virtues. This raw energy is an indicator of where our heart is. At times, I stand by the monastery compost heap and consciously register how thoroughly unattractive it smells. I then go on to reflect how this bad-smelling muck will soon be giving nourishment and beauty to the garden. Just because our hearts manifest in unrefined and unattractive ways does not mean we are bad people or that the energy itself should be disposed of. We would be wise to withhold our initial reactions and look deeper. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace. Namo Adidafa. Thanks so much for joining me today.